things are really just going really well for me. And sometimes I wake up, even though I'm tired, even though sometimes it's not easy, I'm just really thankful for what I have. And Amazon truly has changed my life.
And I think having all those different things going on and different responsibilities, family, career, content creation, Amazon, that helps with your content creation and your message, because that's really relatable to a lot of people who are looking to make some extra money, maybe through Amazon.
Make a long story short, I paid for all of my undergraduate and my master's degree just flipping textbooks on college campuses. So I graduated without debt. All the online arbitrage guys there, wholesale guys, I'm doing it wrong. Like, I'm selling books still. Like, no one here is selling books. Everyone's online arbitrage, wholesale. I realized that just focusing on what I do best, which is books, allowed me to keep growing. And I think there's tons of space for me to go still. So.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Good to be here.
Cheers.
Welcome back to the Doughboys podcast. I'm your host, Logan, joined by my lovely, studly co-host, Flipping with Cisco. And today we also have a special guest, and not only a special guest, but a very special repeat guest. The one and only Joji Davenport is joining us today on the Doughboys podcast. Joji, thank you so much for coming. Last time you came on, we just briefly touched on your Amazon business, and then we were deep diving into FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early. So super excited to have you back on and actually talk about Amazon this time. So Joji, thanks for coming on. Would love it if you could kick us off, just kind of telling the viewers about your background.
Sure. Thanks so much for bringing me on. Love talking to you guys. But yeah, my name is Joji. I'm a high school chemistry teacher. I just got back from teaching. I also sell books on the side on Amazon. I basically started back in college, and make a long story short, I paid for all of my undergraduate and my master's degree just flipping textbooks on college campuses. So I graduated without debt. I got my teaching credential, really went right into teaching high school. And for the last, 6 or 7 years, I've been just selling books on the side, and slowly but surely I've scaled. And at this point, I'm a high school teacher during the day. I have a newborn boy. I have a wife. So I literally learned how to source books on Amazon and then resell them on Amazon. A lot of people who sell books, they go to thrift stores, they go to library sales, and that just wasn't going to work with my life. So basically 10:30 p.m. to midnight every single day, I'm sourcing books that I then can, buy on Amazon, resell on Amazon. And this year's my best year yet. So that's a long story as short as I can make it.
That is wild. And one thing that you didn't mention on your laundry list of hats that you wear is you're also a content creator. You're literally probably one of my favorite content creators in the flipping community, just because all your content that you put out, your reels, your shorts, your YouTube videos, they're all really interactive. I appreciate everything that you put out.
Yeah, thanks so much for the comments. Yeah, and started a YouTube channel about a year ago, and it's actually been a catalyst for the growth of my Amazon business, because it's funny, once I started making content, saw other people liked it, I was like, hey, maybe I should try Amazon a little bit harder, because I wasn't honestly trying nearly as hard as I'm trying now, and I still saw some great success with it. But I appreciate that's really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like as far as your content, one, you're really relatable, right? So you're not here saying that you come from a lot of money or that you're trying to sell millions and millions of dollars on Amazon. You're just a college kid that learned about flipping books in college, paid for his tuition, and then is now a teacher just trying to get to retirement. So, I mean, I think your story is really relatable, and I think you come out very, very relatable in your content as well.
Yeah, that's like I said, I don't know what to say that other than I really appreciate those comments. It makes me feel good inside. So thanks so much, Cisco. It's really cool.
And congratulations on your newborn, the boy.
Yeah, I guess he's not too newborn. He's almost a year old, but yeah, man, wow. It's flown by for sure. Yeah, he's been awesome. It's been really cool being a dad. I know you're a dad as well. Logan, you're not there yet, I don't think.
Not yet.
You have a baby that no one knows about, but it's been life-changing, man. And it's put a lot of things in perspective for me. I've grown up a lot. Not that I was ever immature. I think I've always been mature, but yeah, it gives you a different perspective. I'm sure you would also agree with that statement, Cisco.
So like, how are you able to balance everything, especially with a newborn? Because I remember when my daughter was a newborn, it was basically all hands on deck, and it was literally a village trying to take care of her. So how you're doing it now, I have no idea. Maybe you can give us some insight.
Yeah, I'm not the most organized person. What I will say is it helps a lot that Amazon and content creation is something I really do enjoy. It's something that I don't know if I would necessarily have like a passion for, but something I really, really like to do, and I enjoy doing it. That helps out a lot, because when I do have free time, it's like I'm spending my free time in the Amazon business or my free time on YouTube. So it doesn't feel like work, versus teaching, 9 to 5 is actually a job. And while I do also really enjoy that job, it is more of like a work job. By no means am I the best at balancing everything at all. But what I will say is that I'm kind of just fed by this hunger, or this desire to want to just keep going and just try to see where it can lead. And there's a lot of times I don't get things done during the day, and it just has to be okay. Like I have I have a boy, I have my wife, like they're the priorities of my life. So sometimes I'm like, what, I would really love to film a video tonight, but it's not going to happen until midnight if I want to do it. And so I make the decision. So it really comes down to sacrifice. And obviously I'm not saying that I sacrifice more than the normal person or whatever. There's people out there who have much, much more difficult lives and harder lives than I do. And I by no means complain at all. It's just, I just try to do as much as I can when I can do it. And it doesn't always happen. I think just progress every single day is what matters. And that's led to
absolutely
what I've been able to build.
And I think having all those different things going on and different responsibilities, family, career, content creation, Amazon, that helps with your content creation and your message, because that's really relatable to a lot of people who are looking to make some extra money, maybe through Amazon. Like it's really easy for me and people my age and even younger. Like I started this business when I was 18. It's really easy for me to say, yeah, whatever, go all in, spend 100 hours a week on this, because I didn't have a job. I didn't have a family that relied on me. So someone who's in a position like you can really be relatable to a lot of people.
I appreciate the kind words, man. Awesome.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that that we can kind of everyone do better, and it's just kind of organizing their day and kind of like taking that lessons that you can't do everything in a single day, right? So I think one thing that has helped me, and one thing that I think maybe a lot of our viewers can get help with, is prioritizing 3 main things that you want to get accomplished on a single day, right? So some people do it on their notes. I actually just started sharing a note with Logan, so we both have access to this one note of just title ideas for YouTube videos, right? So collaborating. But I also carry a paper notebook with me basically everywhere I go, and I just write a laundry list of to-do lists, right? And then at night, I just circle the 3 that I have to get done the next day. Then everything else just kind of falls through.
It's a good strategy. I'm gonna start implementing that.
Yeah, I should start implementing that as well, man.
It makes it tangible.
Everyone watching, you should implement that too.
Yeah. So for me, it just makes it tangible. It makes it something physical that I'm actually doing. Because sometimes if I put it in my phone in the notes, I screenshot things all the time that I want to look back into. I heart a bunch of TikToks. I want to rewatch it and like go down that rabbit trail. But it's on my phone and I forget. So if it's on paper, it's much more likely that I'll get it done.
For sure. I do the paper notebook too, but I like that strategy of like at night, circle 3 things that have to get done. I'm gonna start trying that out.
That's very cool.
Do it, and that way you don't wake up with just like scatterbrained, right? Sometimes I remember like I started doing this maybe like a year and a half ago, and prior to that, I would wake up in the morning with like an idea of what I want to get done, right? I know I want to get sourcing done. That time I wanted to go to like Walmart and get some RA done. I know I wanted to prep some of my stuff to get shipped out, but I didn't know where to start. So then when I started implementing that, I just jotted it down in the priority that I wanted to get it done with. Woke up, did the bed, started working. I didn't even brush my teeth. I didn't shower. I just went along the day like the Grinch.
Let's get right in.
Two books I'd recommend that really helped me out a lot. Actually, I guess I'll recommend 3. So one that I read, Atomic Habits, is a really popular book. I'm sure you heard about it. Great book.
Yeah, amazing book.
Also, Miracle Morning was a really cool book that I read last year. And then finally, The Pumpkin Plan was really good.
That one's really good. I love that book.
Yeah, The Pumpkin Plan. So have you heard of that, Cisco?
So I have it because Logan recommended it to me a while ago.
So
but it's not. I have not gotten to it yet because I'm still right now. I'm looking at the hook point. Right now I'm reading the hook point.
Cool. You need to put that down. The 3 things to get done tonight. So but that really put it in perspective for me. That focusing on one thing is probably the way to go for most people. At least that has really worked for me. So when I met Logan back at the Miami Sellers Conference, when he's like, dude, who's this random guy who comes up to me? Back when I mean, I knew who you were from YouTube, but you didn't know who I was. All the online arbitrage guys there, wholesale guys. I'm like, dude, I'm doing it wrong. Like, I'm selling books still. Like, no one here is selling books. Everyone's online arbitrage, wholesale. And then I realized, like, what I've been doing has worked for me. It's like, I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't need to be making millions of dollars or selling. I just need to do what works for me. And so I realized that just focusing on what I do best, which is books, is allowed me to keep growing. And I think there's tons of space for me to go still. So that's what I'm focusing on.
So you gave some books that you recommend. Are there any books that you think are overrated?
I read like halfway through the E-Myth, and I wasn't really that. I don't know. Maybe I just need to go back and read it again. But I was reading. I got halfway through, and I was like, this isn't. I don't know. This isn't really speaking to me. There's another book that I read that was like that as well. I can't remember. Usually, if there's books like that, I just don't finish reading them because I'm like, this isn't really speaking to me. Not saying that's a bad book. People always recommend the E-Myth. It probably is a great book. Maybe I was just in a weird mood or something and just wasn't clicking. But
Maybe.
I want to, circle back to that in the future.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility because, like, I feel like that happens to me with shows. Like, I remember one of my best friends showed me this cartoon that's just dumb. Now the name is actually escaping me. Logan, what's that cartoon you showed me?
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and
It's
Morty.
Rick and Morty.
So when I was here hanging out with my friends, he showed me Rick and Morty, and I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood. My daughter was like 3 or 4 years old at the time, and like I just had a long day. I fly out to Illinois and I hang out with Logan, and then that's his favorite show, so he puts it on, and then I'm there watching, and
Not
I'm
my
just like,
favorite show.
this is actually kind of funny. Sometimes it just depends on the season that you're in, what you're gonna like.
Going back to the pumpkin plan, Joji, have I ever told you my 9 ASINs story?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I feel like every 3 podcast episodes this gets mentioned. We talk about it all the time. But 9 ASINs, there was a point in my business where I was like, there's this one product line that's just absolutely crushing it. We could simplify our prep if we just sold this one product line. It's rocking like 30-35% net profit margins. I can make as much money as I am now by just focusing in on this one thing.
Right.
I was inspired by the pumpkin plan, as I'm sure you could kind of realize. But a week later, Amazon hops on all the listings.
Oh,
So it's like if I didn't do it, thankfully.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like if I had done that and followed that, my business would have been ruined. Like the pumpkin plan's really, really good, but diversification is important too. And it's like understanding how to actually apply what you're learning.
yeah, I would absolutely agree.
Excuse my ignorance, but can Amazon hop in used books too? I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, they could. There's Amazon warehouse deals. That's when they sell books in new condition, they get returned and then they resell them back in, used like new, very good. Basically, they're just not going to sell it new again because it's been used. But it's very rare. A lot of the books that I sell are older books. They were published in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So Amazon, if they ever even sold them, has been off the listing for 5 years, a decade, 20 years. So most of the time it's not the case for textbooks. Yeah, sometimes they can, but it really happens very rarely. Yeah.
So you do a lot of A to A flips though, right?
Yeah, I do almost entirely A flips. I do probably about 70% A flips and the rest like eBay to Amazon and then some other platforms to Amazon as well.
Okay. Could you walk us through what your process is like for trying to find those A flips?
Sure. I use Keepa, and there's 3 sourcing strategies that you can use for Keepa that are super basic once you learn about them. That's the hardest part. It took me years to learn about these features. So I'm sure you've heard of them. There's Keepa Deals page, Keepa Track product feature, and there's also Keepa Product Finder. Really, it's just developing strategies around how to use those effectively. And what I'll say is it comes down to really understanding when you look at any product or any book and you look at the Keepa graph, can you, within a matter of 1 or 2 seconds, take all these variables and turn out an equation that says, what this book's value is worth or what it's likely to sell for. Because, it doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're reselling, the goal is to buy low and sell for, technically buy low, sell high. I really say buy low, sell for what it's worth. That's kind of my model. So you're trying to quickly within 1 or 2 seconds figure out, hey, is this book below what its true market value is? So that if you can buy it at this price, you can just send it back into Amazon and sell it for what it has historically over the last 2, 5, 10 years sold for, and then make money that way. So I would say the strategies for how to find those books. I mean, you can find them on my YouTube channel. I'm also a little plug here coming out with the Amazon course on September 30th, and I'm launching it with Steve Rankin as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for that. But I got tons of videos on my channel for how to use each of those features. I have free Keepa tutorials as well to help you do that.
Is your program going to be focused on A to A specifically for books or in general?
Yeah, specifically for books. I'm going to throw in a few other carrots in there for DVDs and CDs as well, because you could use it for that as well. But I sell mainly books, so I'm going to definitely market it as Amazon to Amazon flips for books specifically.
Yeah.
Prior to you starting to flip books, were you a reader? Did you like books, or did it just kind of start growing an affinity for books after you started to sell them?
Yeah, I would read some fiction books in school, but I definitely wouldn't consider myself a reader. It really took off for me when I discovered books about like personal finance, books about bettering yourself, about business. Those books I love. So
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say flipping books has made me want to read more, although I will say some of the books that I come across, I'm like, I'm going to ship that to my house and not my prep center because I'm going to read it and then I'm going to flip it for some money. And I've done that
Nice.
There
multiple
you go. There
times.
you go.
So
Nice.
yeah, the subject matter of some of the books you come across is pretty insane. So yeah,
I believe it. I believe it. Have you heard of Moon's Rare Books? The guy on
I have
TikTok.
that. Mm-mm.
You need to hashtag Moon's Rare Books. He's
Moon's Rare. Okay.
yeah, look it up right now. He has 2 million followers, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's just an old guy who owns a bookstore that just loves books, and he collects a bunch of different like rare sets, rare books. I'm not huge into books like that either. I mean, I read just because I think it helps the mind. I mean, he makes me want to like books. He makes me want to start flipping books.
Oh, he's got 2 million followers. Jeez, that's awesome. I'm not even on TikTok. I need to get on TikTok and post my shorts there, but just been kind of lazy about it. But that's cool. I'll check him out. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Who were some people that you learned from whenever you were getting into reselling books?
Yeah, I started with Steve Rakin, the Bonafide Hustler, College Picker. Who else was there? Caleb Roth.
Logan
was huge.
Burger.
Yeah,
Shout out
Logan.
Caleb Roth.
Yeah, shout out to Caleb Roth, Steve Rakin, Bonafide Hustler,
Yeah.
College Picker. All those guys back in 2015, 2016, they're the guys that showed me that was possible. They had a bunch of free YouTube content. And from there, I just, took the foundational knowledge that they imparted on me and grew it from there. But those guys are on my Mount Rushmore for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Joji, do you ever think, or have you ever thought to yourself that you might be the Caleb Roth or the Steve Rakin to the next Joji Davenport?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I thought maybe with time, one thing that they have on me is they've had a decade in the game. So I think, yeah, maybe in 10 years, I could see people who have consumed my content for that long go, oh yeah, I learned from Joji. I already now hear from people like who listen to, like who are a part of Reselling Freedom, which is Steve Rakin's coaching group. People say, well, I learned this from Joji, or it's cool. In some Facebook groups, you'll see like some of the people who attended your events and like answer questions related to Keepa and like, oh yeah, check out Joji. So I'm starting to see it downstream. It's really awesome to see. But I think, yeah, in a decade's time, if as long as I stay consistent with posting content and just share my story, I think I could hopefully inspire some people.
Is that a big reason behind why you make content? Is having the ability to inspire and have impact?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think at heart, I'm a teacher. And while I do really love teaching high school, I don't really like a lot of the constraints you have teaching. I guess producing content's is a freedom, right? It's one of my ways to teach the way that I want to teach. And I would say that I think it's one of my skills, and generally in life, for satisfaction, long-term happiness, people tend to do what they're good at or other people say they're good at. So I don't know necessarily if I'm doing it so that I can inspire people. I guess it's more of a combination of, I think in this business to grow, you kind of need to put yourself out there. It's also a combination of, I think it's because Amazon really has changed my life that I kind of owe it to other people if I can help them out in any way, that I can do that. And also a combination of, it's also another way to market yourself. And it's a way that you can, like you said, diversify your income. Like I can start making money, either selling a course or with affiliates, of course, always from the perspective of trying to help people out and not like trying to scam people or take their money. But I just think that there's just so many positives and pros to it. And I'm going to be honest with you, like it took me so long to start a YouTube channel because I was so self-conscious. Like I was like, dude, no one's going to want to listen to me. I sound like an idiot. What are my parents going to think? What are my friends going to think? It's so cringe. And one day I was like, I just told my wife, like during COVID, I'm just going to do it. Like, who cares? I had to get out of my head that nobody cares about you as much as you do. And I will say that even YouTube has changed my life. Like I don't even have 2,000 subscribers. It's absolutely changed my life because it's opened so many opportunities. Like it enabled me to meet Steve Rakin. And Steve Rakin is just an awesome guy. Got into his coaching programs. We've collaborated on some projects. So just the opportunity of having met people has well been worth it. And yeah, I'm just so grateful and thankful, if I'm being honest, for content, for YouTube, for Amazon. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And to touch on some of the things that you mentioned, right? So you mentioned, Rakin, they've been doing it for years, but you do it differently. In my opinion, your delivery of your content is a lot clearer and crisper. And, like you said, you're a teacher at heart. So that kind of comes out in your content to make it a lot easier to digest for everyone, right?
Cool.
So that's one. Two, have you heard of one rental at a time?
I've not, no.
Okay, so he's another content creator who does content daily. He does lives every day, and it reminds me so much of what you do on your Saturday mornings, just live sourcing. You get on, you live source. I think, what is it, like 6 in the morning for you at
6:30.
that
Yeah,
time?
6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's 9:30, and I'm also just rolling out of bed, and I'm
Yeah.
just in there watching. But you interact with everyone who chats in there. You don't you try your best not to skip anyone, and you just try to be a part of the community. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you really are, who those Mount Rushmores are for you. You're just
Uh-huh.
on somebody's Mount Rushmore now.
I appreciate
Um,
that. It's cool to
yeah, of
think of it that
course.
way. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
of
man.
course. And that's the biggest thing too. Like you were talking about self-doubt. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people kind of go through that, right? I think, and once they are here, they kind of sometimes feel like they have like imposter syndrome.
Yep.
But I think a quote that might resonate with you and maybe a bunch of our viewers too. Although you might be scared of self-doubt, someone else is scared of your full potential. So just go out there, do you, and
That's
let
good.
them be scared, not yourself.
That's good. I like it, man. That's awesome. Appreciate all the kind words and comments.
Yeah.
It means a lot. I really appreciate it.
So I do have another question, right? Because you were talking about being at like seller conferences, and then they're doing millions of dollars in wholesale, OA, etc. And then you decide, you know what, I'm just gonna stick in my lane and just be yourself, right?
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on orange bars?
Ooh, yeah, orange bars. I think they're eye catchy and they're eye candy. I think it's like, wow. It's kind of like the trailer to what might be behind. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I think it's fun and cool to see people's bars. I think it can be inspiring. I think like all of us would hope that there might be a little bit more transparency with the business model and what the profit actually is, because the bottom line is you can sell $1 million and have $1 million of orange bars and lose money. Like that's possible. And you could
Farmer
also
pack.
sell $25,000 this year and have made $10,000. Like, it's wild, it's vastly different. So I think people pay way too much attention to the revenue and don't really take into account the profit at all.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It's not super eye candy. It's not super flashy. It seems way more inspirational, way more impressive if you did $1 million in sales rather than if you said I made $100,000 this year in profit.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So there was a one content creator who showed like the metrics on his posts,
Yeah.
and when he made a post like just providing immense value to people, it had like engagements and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Whenever he made a post showing his orange bars, it's
Yeah.
like 10 times as much engagement and shares. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, people get really excited about just seeing that vanity metric, but then they
Right.
hardly even care when you're actually like trying to provide them real value.
Yeah,
It's really
I would
interesting.
agree. Yeah, it is a very interesting thing. And I think it speaks to, I think a lot of people don't necessarily engage with content. They might view content, but a lot of people don't actually do the work that's needed to get it done. And I think that's evident in what you just said.
I think, if we take some advice from, superior marketers, that's the biggest thing, right? Like
Yeah.
being showboaty, being loud, having the attention, that wields a lot of power, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Right? If you're the loudest in the room, typically you have the most eyes. From there, it's up to you what you want to do with it. You have people decide to create courses and scam people out of money, or you have people like Logan Sweater, Mr. Beast, who use that attention just to entertain and to start fundraisers through like Beast Philanthropy. So yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, I think orange bars are cool, and you're right. You can potentially find, to steal a line from Simon Sinek, a worthy rival in those bars. But at the end of the day, show me your bank account, not the orange bars. That gives me a little bit more
Show
context.
me the nest egg. Show me the net worth.
Yeah,
Let me see it all.
that's what really
Show me
matters,
your
man.
progress towards fire.
Show me your fire.
Yeah.
I want to know how many days are you away from your fire number?
Yes. How many minutes?
How many days
Let me
till
see
fire?
What year? Let me know. Kind of leading into fire, the podcast that you guys did without me, sad face. You mentioned that Amazon money is what's paying your lifestyle, and then teacher money is what's getting you closer to fire.
Correct.
And that you are halfway there. I don't recall you sharing your retirement number, but could we say that you're at least halfway to being a millionaire?
Oh yeah. We're almost millionaires. Yeah. We're almost millionaires.
Wow. Look at that. What about with assets like net worth? You a millionaire yet?
Yeah, net worth. So last time I checked was early February, and the net worth was $800,000. So
How old are you?
Telling me
we're 29.
29, teacher, 800 grand net worth. I don't
Not
think
just
you hear
me
that
and my
very
wife
often.
as well. Me and my wife combined. Yeah.
Still,
Yeah,
I don't
one unit,
think you
one
hear that
unit.
very often.
I said, yeah, but you guys are one unit. So it's
one
it's you
unit,
and your wife. You guys are millionaires.
Very
Congratulations.
soon, probably very soon. I would say this year or next year. Yeah.
Are you gonna
Wow,
celebrate?
That's crazy.
Probably not. No, probably not. Probably not.
You
Going
definitely
back to the
should.
fire number, I think the fire number is 2 million. So we're getting there. What's really funny about fire is my perspective of it has changed a lot since I initially found it in 2017. 2017, I was like, I'm just gonna sit on the couch, I'm gonna play video games. Now with YouTube and seeing a lot of the good that I felt like I've been doing and helping people, like I have like a new mission. Like and so I found that it's not really retirement. It's more choosing to spend the free time I have the way I want to. And having this whole summer with my son and my wife, which has just been awesome, going to the park every day, just slow living stuff. Like I realized that, I don't necessarily want to retire and not do anything. I just want to retire so that I have the freedom to choose what I want to do. So it's like, you know what, let's teach this year. Why not? Or we can say, let's go travel this year, or let's just go to the park every day this year. That's kind of been a major shift for me with fire over the last few years, especially with making this YouTube channel and creating content. It's really made me see the value in choosing to spend your time how you want to spend, and that's the goal, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like a lot of the people who have the work ethic and discipline and ability to achieve fire aren't going to actually retire anyway.
Exactly.
They can't. Like they enjoy working. They
Yeah.
enjoy having impact. And it's just like you said, it's about having the freedom to choose if you're going to work that day or not.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%. So, Joji, are you proud of where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very thankful. I feel very blessed and privileged to be where I'm at. Like I've got a beautiful wife who's very supportive of Amazon and my side hustles, and I have a beautiful son that I play baseball. I'm wearing a baseball shirt here, but he's starting to throw the ball around, and things are really just going really well for me. And I sometimes I wake up, I'm like, dude, even though I'm tired, even though, sometimes it's not easy, I'm just really thankful for what I have. And Amazon truly has changed my life because it's enabled me to basically create a second income for myself and my family. So yeah, I'm very proud of where we're at. With that said, we made a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of inefficiencies. You don't have to be perfect to win. You just have to take small, consistent steps, and you'll get there. No one's perfect. And I have no desire to be, Jeff Bezos and make hundreds of millions of dollars. Desire to be Alex Hormozy, even though I think there's a lot of admirable traits from both of them. It's just want to live our life and enjoy things that we value the most. So I'm really blessed and hopeful that I can continue selling on Amazon in the future, because it's really changed our lives, or changed my life from my perspective.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned Jeff Bezos. So if you could replace Jeff Bezos, what changes would you make to Amazon to make it more friendly to third-party sellers like you and I?
Yeah. I guess I haven't thought too much about what he does on a daily basis. Or, I guess what I'll say, just thinking about the problems third-party sellers face all the time, is Amazon's so customer-centric that a lot of times they just kind of take sellers, and it almost feels like they're like, oh, whatever. We always know that there's a revolving door. There's tons of Cisco's out there and Logan's making content. There'll be plenty of teenagers coming up into the game. And so I guess I would just say I would try to focus a little bit more on the third-party sellers, if possible, because they are really, I don't know what the percentage is, but they got to be a pretty large, portion of the entire business. So I would say if maybe we could make sellers feel a little bit more like customers, where at least customer support is going to be more likely to help you out and help resolve problems, I think that would be awesome.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. So there's a list that comes out of companies that made like the top 50 companies to work for. One of them being Wegmans. And my mom actually works for Wegmans.
Okay.
And the main reason why they're ranked so high is because internally, at least, they prioritize the employees kind of higher than they prioritize the clients, the customers, right?
Cool.
And what it's led, at least from what she tells me, is that literally everyone at work is just happy, and
That's cool.
therefore it just brushes off to everyone else.
Right.
And then obviously they're a successful company. Well, actually, I don't know if Wegmans is in your area.
I've never
Either
heard
of
of them,
your areas.
I
honestly.
don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It's a huge grocery chain. But anyways, so Joji, we do a we've started this new segment these past, I would say, like 3 or 4 episodes,
Mhm.
where we do Spitfire questions, and you just
Sweet.
have to react to the question and answer it, as quick as you can. They
Okay.
could be Amazon related questions. They could be just random questions. So,
Sure.
Joji, where are you from? You're from California, or?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego County,
Okay.
California. Yep.
So we'll go ahead and get started. Are you a sports fan at all?
Yeah. Baseball, golf, pickleball. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. No football?
I'll watch highlights. I don't spend my whole Sunday watching football, but I'll watch highlights, Miami Dolphins, San Diego Chargers. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we will begin with the Spitfire questions.
Okay, I
now.
thought that was Spitfire. That's why that's why I
No, I
answered
was
them
just
so
trying to get some
quickly.
insight. I was gonna ask you
Oh,
for
yeah.
I was gonna see if you liked football or not. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
apparently that
No, I
wasn't
mean,
that
I thought it was Spitfire. That's why I was trying to answer as quickly
I
as
thought that
possible.
was a Spitfire too.
Yeah.
No, my bad. All right. We'll go ahead and get
I
started.
can expand if you want me to, or we can. It's up to you guys.
No. We're good. We'll go ahead and jump in. All right. For dessert, if you're on a calorie crunch, are you getting a ice cream or are you drinking a Coke?
Ice cream,
All right, perfect. Still water or sparkling water?
still water.
Flipping books for Christmas or flipping books for Hanukkah?
Christmas, 100%. Way better.
All right.
Way more
All
books.
right.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm blanking now all of a sudden.
Spitfire,
being a teacher
Cisco.
or being an Amazon seller?
That's a hard one.
Spitfire,
Both,
Joji. You gotta
both,
answer.
both. That's why it's hard. Both.
right.
If I had to choose one or the other, I would say I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. It's a hard question. If I had to choose the rest of my life, whether I sold book, probably selling books on Amazon. There's more freedom. There's more time where you can.
Good answer.
Yeah.
When you first wake up, what's the first app you open?
Probably YouTube Studio.
Nice.
Nice. Good answer. Love it. Favorite content creator that is not Logan, myself, or any other Amazon seller?
This guy who flips video games. His name's Cody with a K.
Cody with a, oh, but okay. We'll accept it. We'll accept
Oh,
it.
did you say Amazon seller? Amazon seller?
No, non-Amazon seller.
Oh, non-Amazon. Okay, non-Amazon seller. Probably Bama Bass. Have you heard of Bama Bass?
No, never heard of Bama Bass.
Bama Bass. They built like a 5-acre pond in their backyard, and they built it from scratch. Excavated everything, put water in it, put bass in it, and bluegill in it, and have eagle towers. Like, it's kind of like I don't know if you guys ever played Zoo Tycoon. That's what it kind of feels like.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And then last question, where do you get your tape from?
Oh, my tape. I get it from Costco.
Nice. All right. Thanks. Well, bye.
Yeah.